Hey, Cancer. Okay, so interesting. Happy Valentine's Day, okay? And I want you to know that I really mean that. And if you don't have a Valentine, I'll be your Valentine. Will you be my Valentine? Now, during this time period, happy mid-month, by the way. Happy being alive. These cards are a barter that I worked out with a woman from the Ukraine, Nastasia. I have never met her in real life, but I'm assuming that she's a beautiful person. These cards really do instill like a childlike resting within me, because I'm releasing something that's kind of giddy, where I'm not so worried about being the Queen of Cups, right? Taurus, Libra, and Pisces receive the birch tree. So do you. Okay? Concerning the first message was a person with their child sitting on their lap. There's an importance to nurturing. You're probably maybe thinking about, if you're a mother, situations like that. I see that I need to let you know that you are safe, you are loved, and you are protected. We'll leave that one out. So just being around family that's positive, that really take your experiences in life and make you feel like, wow, you did a really good job. Like, I'm so glad for all the crazy things that happen to you, without even having to say that. Just accepting who you are, okay? And again, wanting to learn from you, because you are a cardinal sign, even though I feel like you forget a lot of the time, okay? You are it's about making stuff happen, a cardinal sign. You're I feel. So, how do you start feelings when maybe I heard you're starting something new? That could be challenging for you, right? You feel like I could see the energy shifting within that, okay? But this is just part of something that you're learning about, and that's okay. The second card was a little girl sleeping in the birch grove. So taking time to rest is really important. A lot of people have also been receiving this card. Out of the 100 and something, about 30 of them have come out, which is interesting with Saturn and its 30-year transit. Okay, this card at this time is representing to me, these are new, but they're fascinating cards. Oh, I love them. It's about quality over quantity, okay? I'm waiting for Thai food because I'm moving and my dishes have been in my sink for 3 days and I don't care. I know you get that. So, which I generally, honestly, it perturbs me, like, but I'm just not giving a shit. I've done so much work, okay? And now I'm at a point where I've done enough work, I can take a day off. Okay, so there's something about that for you also, okay? But it is important what you put in your body, okay? It is important to be aware of what we allow into our body that's energy, right? And that energy generally would cause us to have more energy. Now, if we're putting in really healthy things, whether that's literally food, right? Going out to eat, whatever, eating at home, but that also can be energy in ways of feeling, okay? And I also heard that can come from feelings outside of you, okay? So it's important because you actually learn and process your feelings a lot through other people and the way that they feel, right? So if you are around people that are really healthy, that is going to reflect, again, your own healthiness, okay? But you also sort of have this karmic lesson of being drawn to people who you think need your help, okay? Good girl, Zoom. You want to see Zoom? Say hi, Zoom. Oh, hi, Zoom. Good girl. Yeah. We just went for a walk. She really loves the snow, like bumbling through the snow, but if it's raining, she's like, oh, my hair. So cute. It is really cold out there, isn't it, though? Not comfortable. Okay, knowing what's comfortable to you, Cancer, what is not, okay? What if that uncomfortability that you ever feel in life, you have to ask yourself, is this my uncomfortability? Is it something outside of me? If it is something outside of me, why am I responding to it in such a way inside of me? Okay? Because you're very internal. Now, this message came up for another sign, but I still see it here. For those of you who have moved multiple times in your life, even since you were alive, like say when you moved when you were a child, not just in this adult life, the last 6, or, well, I heard last 6, but I guess it could be your first 6, up to 6, whatever it is, something about the 6. It's the house of Virgo, it's the house of service, which you love. Something about it for you to consider. If you have any attachments, you know what, I did hear the first 6, okay? But of course, go both ways, okay? Because I see like this branch is sort of, I feel like it's like now till then, and then it was then until now. So there's something about both of them ending up in the present, you in the present moment considering something about the keys that you hold. Usually keys, a door lock, except for a skeleton key, has cylinders, okay? And they go from 0 to 5. 0 being the flattest part of your key, 5 being the tallest part, okay? Like 5 being the mountain. 5 I'm seeing as the High Priest right now, as the Hierophant, which is Taurus's card. They're fixed earth. Your cardinal water. So your water that's always moving, right? And their earth that's never moving, unchanging in a way. Trying to think of a place on the earth that has that. Well, they're about structure anyhow, okay? They usually have keys in their card. It's about unlocking something, though, more spiritually speaking, okay? Good. You have basically the Fool card in this deck, which is awesome. It's about dropping, well, I heard dropping baggage, even though this isn't traditional. I also see, yeah, it goes back to because, right, these keys came out, and now we have all these houses. I just remembered that when, if you're going through a lot of, say you dream, well, I'll give an example of myself, because I feel like you guys have a lot, ladies and gentlemen, have dream strongly, okay, but you don't always see your dreams from the way I feel like if you stepped back from them, you'd be able to understand them in a wider perspective, even though you can feel what the actual meaning is, but there's something about the comprehension within your mind, the analytical ability, that sort of tweaks. Now, if you have strong air in your chart, you probably could help this process. It all depends. Which maybe a lot of you do, because all these birds just showed up. Okay, that's also helping you, again, with this analytical ability of viewing the situation from a higher vantage point. Okay, whatever it is that's going on, internally and or externally, which of course reflect one another. Okay? That was interesting. That one. More birds. I see moving for some of you would actually be really beneficial. Like moving somewhere kind of far from where you live. Not like down the street, not to the next town, like to a completely different ecological environment. And or if you can, for those of you like it's interesting, like I keep sort of seeing, well, I keep seeing and hearing kind of like Switzerland or like around the Alps. Yeah, that's interesting. Huh. That's a perspective too, right? Because I've been talking about that, like really how humans are now, like, you know, we look into the camera, or you look into your phone, or maybe you look into another person's face or the computer screen. It's about an arm's distance, which usually would be the maximum, except for maybe glancing up for a moment, or when we're driving, but even then you're sort of paying attention to the person in front of you because the population has exploded, right? Or so we're now noticing. So there's something about, I heard once that people from the Alps, this woman was describing it when I lived in New York, the people from the Alps have these, like, it's almost as if their pupils are bigger, like a bird, because they view life, the majority of their view, literally their perspective in life is more of a bird's eye view. Okay, they're looking at it from a wider, higher perspective. Okay. And from that position, it causes your pupils open up because you can absorb more, right? Interesting. I would definitely say that, the bird is strong here. I can't tell which one it is. Definitely a bird that roosts in trees. Actually, you already know what bird that is, and so whatever bird, you know whatever it is to each of you. It's a bird that doesn't migrate either from wherever you live. There's something about it. I feel like it's a bird that's around you, literally, like not necessarily something in your mind. Unless wherever it is that you go, if it is outside of your geographical location, that might give you indication to where you're supposed to move. Okay? Cool. That's really cool. And actually, for some of you, the bird that I'm talking about, it's been in and around you since last fall. And whatever it is that it had been telling you, right? I feel like this light colored, I hope you can see this, like this softer tan brown, like sort of like nutshell color. I feel like it moves into this and then it becomes softer with the green too, okay? And I was just talking, I feel like this is Earth, and then the blue sky is you for some reason. So, very interesting reading. Whoever's last on the roster is always fascinatingly different. It's like in the beginning there's sort of this like structured, like whoever goes the first couple is like in this certain block that they're learning, right? And then those ones in the middle are kind of da-da-da, and then the last ones start to become wider and more vast in a way. The last one specifically being, though, like really, really interesting in comparison to the rest of them. Yes, it's very like, it's just, it elevates it in a certain way. So I guess at this point I would say that psychologically speaking, you're probably in a more elevated place if you're able to be in tune with that, okay? Okay. Oops. Oh good, more of that color. Now, and more of that color. This soft. Look how soft this is. I know that's probably not a color that you would usually wear, but I feel like we've already talked about this. I feel like it's the center is the yellow. You actually look really good in yellow. Especially the brunette, male or female cancers, which actually I've never met a brunette male cancer. I've never thought about that. Fascinating. Huh. Okay. Well, I see that it's telling you to remember to pick your head up. Keep your head up. Okay? Keep that beautiful smile on your face. I know that most cancers don't really smile that much. It's like you're afraid to show, like, well, the opposite of you is Capricorn, right? Like, I feel like you're so sensitive that it's like in nature when an animal shows its teeth, right? Usually it's to be like, get away from me. So maybe you have something in the back of your subconscious that blocks you from doing that, because if you did, it would be almost devilish, right? It would be like that kind of thing. But the thing is you can be a water sign and also be a little mischievous. Okay? Like, that's okay for you to have a lot of feelings, to have transformative feelings, to go through all the things that you've had to go through. Good girl, Susan. That's okay, you know? That's part of your pain is part of your character. But now you have to, part of the character is to not always act as if you're a crab. Like hiding your belly, hiding your sensitive part. You know what I mean? Just showing like this outer sort of shell. You don't have to do that. I'm not saying you don't cry, because you do. But everyone's been receiving this, but there is a little elephant in the room that you need to address. Okay, and it actually came out with, well, whatever story that it is that you've been writing, it's changing, okay? I think I said that in the beginning, didn't I? And I think part of what the elephant in the room is, and Libra kind of had this too, like, why is it that you can't, when it is that you hold in your hands everything that you possibly could need and more, you know, you really even have a lot of the things that you want, okay? But you still have your head down. What is it in life that causes a difficulty in keeping your chin up? But not just your chin up all serious, because you're cardinal, but like, you know, addressing the situation in sort of a, well, let's be creative about this, because you can't control anybody else's feelings, and part of your karmic lesson is that it's easy for you in a way to sort of manage your feelings, but then in another way it's extremely difficult, right? I don't want to be rude and have to leave you. Oh, I wanted to mention, so I started smoking again. I guess I just need to tell you this really quick. So I've been doing this thing for 20 years. It's been a part of my life, and it's become a part of my life, so woven together with everything that I've ever been able, whatever I can do, I can smoke and do that. I've literally gone swimming with a cigarette. It's like ridiculous. And in the last few years, I've really been sorting out a lot of stuff about it. Okay, why I started. That's usually how you can quit something that's a habit, is you have to figure out where it attaches to. Okay, what is it? What is the root? Where is the root ball? Okay, and then you have to remove that. Clean up your mess, right? Can't just like necessarily move away from it and expect it not to it's not always going to blend into the furniture, okay? Eventually it's just sort of in your face. But what's cool about it is once you assess it, what that root problem is, why it all really started, and then realizing that you are no longer that person anymore, not just mentally understanding that, not just this like feeling like you, oh yeah, I got over that. It's about really changing your frequency, okay? Because if you just think something or you just say something, it doesn't mean shit if you don't change your energy about it, okay? And what happened was I ended up finding out that I had to move. It's safer for me to move than it was to stay here. This was no longer healthy for me for whatever reason, and I had been making somewhat of excuses to stay here because I didn't want to put myself in a situation that was kind of tumultuous. Okay, I got Uranus in the 4th house, Pluto too. It's going to happen. But the point is that God took it away from me so that it could open up doors to new opportunities. Okay. Now, when I got stressed out about finding out about all this stuff, I didn't smoke initially, but then a few other things happened where it connected me emotionally to situations where I felt really emotionally unsupported in something. Okay, and part of what that cigarette is to me as a crutch is an emotional support. It's like I said to Taurus, it was like, I realized once when I was tripping on mushrooms that I was like, why do I smoke cigarettes? And I was like, I smoke cigarettes because I want something to hold. I make the choice to be able to hold that thing, and I know that I can hold that thing anytime that I want. Okay? I'm in control of that. Once you figure out that shit, then you can be like, oh, you know, and really like let it go. But I reverted back to bad behavior, and I know that it happened for multiple reasons, and I actually said, and this is my goal, is that I recorded, well, I needed to learn a lesson for myself again. I also was learning this lesson so that I could teach it to you, okay? Because it's so similar to so many things. This cigarette is not good for me. It's not healthy. It's not doing me any good. Okay? I love jogging way more, running with my dog, making Zumi happy, making me feel good, like so much better, okay? Healthiness feels so much better. Creation feels so much better than destruction, okay? But we get stuck in doing the thing that's repetitive from the past because we're comfortable with it, not because it's healthy, okay? So I just felt the need to share that with you. Now, let me see how long this is. 21. Okay. Well, you know, because if you walk in the rain, you're going to get wet. There's no, like, if you don't heal something, then it will keep creeping back up and back up and back up, and then once you heal it, you're going to have tests, okay? It's going to ask you, like, alright, this person has an umbrella. It's not raining in this card. This person doesn't have an umbrella, and they're just looking up at the rain, enjoying it. Okay? So, it's like, again, a crutch, whatever that reactionary, habitual patterning is in your life, apply it as you may, is all about a choice to how safe you really feel. Okay, I was just telling Scorpio, but it's like maybe none of the, and you rule the belly, like, maybe none of the water signs actually like to show their belly. Because a scorpion isn't going to be like, rub my belly, and neither is a crab. When if a crab's flipped upside down, you're freaking the fuck out. And the whole reason, I just put this together now, like, the reason why a crab's like, oh, I'm going to die, oh my god, flip me over, I'm never going to be able to flip over. And then the water comes and flips you right over, and then you're fine. But the thing is the reason why you're scared and you freak out is because you're being exposed. You're exposing your tender underside. I think you should rub your belly more. Like, give it more attention. Okay, I know most of you have issues with your belly too, like poor digestion and things like that. You know, so maybe that also goes back to the food that you eat, what it is you put in your body. If you drink alcohol, like, I'm not judging, but, you know, it's called alcohol for a reason. That means ghoul. You know, it's poison. Another woman with wings, sleeping soundly. She's not afraid of anything. So relaxed. And it's more of that color. See? Look at that. I hope you can see it. I keep seeing the horse, but you also have the bird as your animal, so maybe what your animal this month actually is like the unicorn, or the Pegasus, or something like that. Something more mythical. Yes. Something more childlike. Yes. Like something that makes your mind go, like, to a different it's like going into the shadow world, but with enthusiasm, okay? With knowing that, like, nothing is going to let you fall wherever it is that you're going. And if you do fall and scuff your knee, well, you're not going to die, okay? Let's choose one more. Where is it? That one. The birch tree again. Yeah, there's a lot about trust, and I think it's about, well, it's just there's a lot about trust, but in the way of you trusting other people more because you're starting to trust yourself more, okay? And not a quiet kind of trust, and not that you're bragging, but I see it as like, because the thing is with you, Cancer, at least, like, I can read most Cancers pretty good, and it's like, I'm sensitive too, but I feel like no matter how much you try to hide your feelings inside of your crab shell, like, everybody knows, really. Once they talk to you, once you start talking versus you listening to everybody else talk, once that's a part of the reason why I think a lot of Cancerian people don't like to talk, because when they do, they're afraid that eventually their underbelly is going to show. And part of this lesson, I sense, is you recognizing that you need to be more open with that, okay? Look at this fat cat. It don't give two toots about its big old belly. It's also getting rid of, I feel like this card is a lot about getting rid of judgments, okay? About others, about yourself. I see physically speaking, but if you are concerned about that, then that goes back to what you put into your body, okay? And that also means putting into it not just emotionally and physically like food, but what do you put into it? Like, you gain certain kinds of energy and frequency and vibration by doing physical actions, okay? So if you're more physically active, yoga, whatever, that is going to actually give you more energy. And again, continuing to change your frequency, okay? Yeah, so you can be a lot lighter. I feel like a lot of you sometimes feel heavier in your body, but maybe that's if 72% of our body is water and memory holds water, then it's important. It's so important, the sounds, the vibrations that we surround ourselves with. And I've always said this to you, and you already know it about yourself, but you should always, even if you live in a cold place, figure out how to be in water on a regular basis. Okay? It's like you need to. You really do need to. Okay? It's so good. Yes, it's so good for you to just touch it, be around it. And I heard the word, this is salt too, so well, salt is just purifying, so you can always take baths too if you are okay with that. I know I also feel like that's not really a Cancerian thing, but it would be good for you. Okay, some like aromatherapy will like lighten you. Even if it's just 10 minutes. You don't have to soak in there for hours on end. You know? Basil is also really good too. Alright, this is for everybody, but keep your eye on the prize, okay? Don't lose sight of the goals. Alright, I love you so much. Take care of yourself. Bye.